next 30 minutes, Ghana's Bui power plant faces imminent risk owing to fresh activities of illegal miners who have stormed Banda and Wenchi in the Bono region in search for gold, leaving in its wake severe damages to homes and river bodies.
You could see the color of the river, and if we don't act fast, it is going to affect the Bui Dam. I am sounding this warning. When you are arrested, I will make sure that you are prosecuted to stop these activities in the Bono region.
There's more unfolding tonight as the renewed fight against illegal mining continues. 4 civil groups are calling for the immediate dismissal of the Minerals Commission boss, plus a complete revocation of LI 2464, which permits mining in Ghana's forest reserves.
The Minerals Commission, in our view, needs a new and sustainability-oriented leadership. The current leadership of the Minerals Commission has failed to ensure responsible mining practices that safeguard social and environmental protection across the country.
Top story, as always, is brought to you by Telecel, connecting energies, holy insecticide spray and quell. Enjoy a holy sleep. I am Blessed Sogah, and tonight authorities in the Bono region have told Joy News that Ghana's critical infrastructure, the Bui power plant, could face an imminent threat of a shutdown if steps are not taken immediately to curb a sudden invasion of Wenchi and Banda by illegal miners who, in the attempt to search for gold, have left in its wake the destruction to homes and river bodies. After a tour of some of the affected communities, the Bono Regional Minister Joseph Adaya Kwaba is sounding a caution to the culprits that they will be severely dealt with when apprehended by the security agencies.
They have almost destroyed the Tang River. When we go to the bridge, you saw the kind of destruction that has been done under the Tang Bridge. We saw people doing illegal mining inside cashew farms. And you see, they are doing it on a quiet. So if you sit in Accra, you may think that there is no galamsey going on in the Bono region. Now, they are moving towards the Bono region. And you could see Chinese and then our own people doing this illegal mining. You could see the color of the river, and if we don't act fast, it is going to affect the Bui Dam. These galamsey activities started not too long ago, but there was no political will to stop them. But we have the will, and we are going to work to stop these activities in the Bono region. So I am telling the Chinese and our own people that so far as I remain in office as the Bono Regional Minister, I am going to combat this illegal mining. I'm not going to allow them to work in this region. We know where they are and we are coming after them. And those chiefs who have given lands to illegal miners, I am sounding this warning to all these chiefs that when you are arrested, I will make sure that you are prosecuted
Well, so that's the reality we're faced with now. And for the critical infrastructure we're talking about, the Bui power plant itself, we understand it controls about 25% of Ghana's hydroelectric power generation capacity. Beyond that as well, the Bui power plant itself controls a significant megawatts in terms of generational capacity. But tonight, in the wake of this renewed fight against illegal mining, 4 civil groups are wading in and calling for the immediate dismissal of the Minerals Commission boss, Martin Kwekueyisi. The group argues that the current leadership of the commission has failed to ensure responsible mining practices that safeguard social and environmental protection. In the view of the group, in terms of the environmentalists, they say that President Mahama himself ought to appoint a new leadership that will engender trust in government's quest to fight illegal mining. They are also calling for a number of measures. Listen to Darrell Bosso, who's the Deputy National Coordinator for Arocha Ghana.
1. Revoke LI 2462 now. The Environmental Protection Mining and Forest Reserve Regulation 2022 LI 2462 has created a legal framework that permits mining in Ghana's forest reserves, ushering in an unprecedented state-sponsored target and assault on forest reserve, undermining decades of conservation and sustainable management of forests in Ghana. Previous and past governments agree that LI 2462 is counterproductive to our sustainable development and must be revoked. There is therefore no reason why this law continues to exist in our statute books. LI 2462 must be revoked with immediate effect, and all mining concessions issued for forest reserves in Ghana revoked as well. Secondly, ban tributor mining lease allocation regime and revoke non-compliant mining leases. Point 6. The Minerals Commission, in our view, needs a new and sustainability-oriented leadership. The current leadership of the Minerals Commission has failed to ensure responsible mining practices that safeguard social and environmental protection across the country. We call on the government to, as a matter of urgency, replace the executive director of the Minerals Commission with a visionary leader who would usher in a new era of responsible mining. This new leadership must prioritize transparency, accountability, and enforcement of regulations that prioritize the social and environmental safeguards of all citizens and protect communities from the adverse effects of exploring Ghana's rich mineral resources. To conclude, the fight against illegal mining galamsey in Ghana has come full circle from its escalation under an NDC-led government to the unfulfilled promises of the erstwhile NPP administration. Now, with the baton back in the hands of an NDC-led government, it is clear we cannot win this battle using yesterday's strategies.
And indeed, shocking details emerging now as authorities in the Bono region are now confirming to us that the critical infrastructure, the Bui power plant, could face an imminent threat of shutdown if nothing is done to tackle this imminent invasion. In fact, it's happening as we speak within Wenchi and Banda by illegal miners. I want to bring in Precious Semaphore, correspondent in the Bono region for us. And Precious, I recall you joining the regional minister himself, who was assessing firsthand the impact of the activities of illegal miners, which is now showing up in this place, which traditionally was not known for illegal mining. How did these illegal miners get there?
Well, so we understand that over the years, some will say even over a decade, they have been engaging in what they describe as minor illegal mining, where they just scratch the surface of the earth and then do their own thing. But for some few years ago, about 4 or 5 years ago, and lots of people are trooping in with heavy duty machines, enabling them to go deep into the belly of the earth to do their thing. And that has left trails of destruction in some parts of Banda and then Wenchi. Now, as we went to the Regional Security Council, that is Wreak, led by the regional minister himself, Joseph Akwabwa, it was such a devastating situation that if you are outside, you will never know that such quantum of destruction is happening within the forest and then the cashew areas of Wenchi and Banda. It is that serious, and no wonder the regional minister says that he will go every length possible to ensure that it is ended in the region.
And in fact, it stretches imagination for the Bui power plants to now be brought into the conversation. How come the activities are that close to such a critical infrastructure?
Well, it is not that close. What we witnessed from Anam to Soko and the other areas of Greater Banda areas are all downstream of dam. What is
Precious, you might want to reposition yourself because the point you're raising now is critical. Precious, I hope you can hear me, and you were just making the point about the connection to the power plant.
Saying that it is not close to the power plant, but all activities as we have witnessed now are all downstream of the power plant. But if it is not checked and it continues from the northern part of Banda, this Savannah region, they're about coming down, definitely the residuals of the mining activities will enter into the dam, and that will create a lot of problems for us because it's a national asset. Already we are having to deal with energy crisis and all that. So it is a critical situation that needs to be tackled with all seriousness. We just cannot sit and wait on it. That is according to the regional minister. It needs to be tackled with all seriousness.
And then the minister then points to some Chinese nationals. Why is it specific on the nationalities of these individuals?
Yeah, so these machines and other sophisticated machines in the region, in the mining site, are spearheaded by some Chinese nationals, of course supported by Ghanaian locals. So that is why he's targeting them, mentioning them specifically, and also mentioning the locals, that whatever is being said is directed at them. But that is not all, because certainly they get the land from someone. So he brought in the traditional authorities who have leased their lands to these illegal miners. And as we also understand, some farmers are selling their cashew farms for some money to enable the illegal activities of mining to be carried out there. So the warning is not only to the Chinese, not only to the Ghanaians who are aiding them, to the farmers and then the traditional authorities who give out these lands to the miners to carry out their activities, which is causing so much havoc. A lot of farmlands are being destroyed, and sometimes they have to drive. I remember one location, we had to drive about almost 20 kilometers from the main road deep into the forest before we locate the destruction that is going on there. So if you are passing by the main road, certainly you will not hear anything. You might not even hear the sound of machines or people working in the forest, the deep forest. But it is happening there if you are not told. But the rivers are suffering. The tiny river, I must say, it's almost gone. The tiny river is almost gone. But the other small rivers in the forest, because we are in the dry season, they have blocked all these rivers and using them. Some areas where they don't have access to the river, they have decided to get their own boreholes situated at vantage points with pumps, generators, and other things to extract the water to enable to carry out their activities.
Precious Semevo there, giving us a graphic picture of this dangerous development within the Bono region, where Banda and Wenchi is now subject to attack by illegal miners, an area which traditionally was not known for this increasing scale of illegal mining. It's the reason for which I want to bring in now Darrell Boso, Deputy National Director for Arocha Ghana, together, who's leading a group of 4 civil groups now calling for a raft of measures that will tackle this whole issue in the context of our renewed fight against illegal mining. Thank you, Darrell, for spending some time with us here on Top Story. First off, you're starting off with the concern on the immediate dismissal of the Minerals Commission boss. I'm wondering how close he is to this fight against illegal mining?
Uh, Thank you very much, Blessed. I really appreciate you also having us on the line. And I think that we are coming from background. If you look all the time, is that
Darrell, you might want to reposition yourself so we get the point you're raising clearly. And you were just pointing out to the raft of measures you are raising, including the call for the dismissal.
yes, I was saying that coming from a point where we know that the Minerals Commission is a key agency in the country that's responsible for issuing out the mining licenses, and they are also the agency that is supposed to ensure monitoring and compliance with the permits that they give. I mean, looking at the devastation by the various companies, some of them who are working along rivers and some of them in rivers, across forest reserves and in forest reserves, and the fact that we have continuously been issuing these licenses without ensuring due diligence, then we think that there's a problem with the head, there's a problem with the leadership, and if we really are serious about risk setting, can you hear me? Blessed, can you hear me?
I'm right here with you.
Okay. And if we really are serious about resetting the environment, dealing with the issues of Galamsey, I don't think that we need to go into this fight with the same old leadership who superintended over the menace and the devastation that we have seen over the years. I think there is need for significant reform across board, even for law enforcement agencies, for the regulatory agencies. We need to change the leadership and this time give them some expectations of delivering on the results that we want to see. And that is why we think that it is not tenable that the Minerals Commission Chief Executive is still in office, particularly considering the fact that he has been in office for all these years and nothing has changed. And now we have moved from bad to worse, and we are not seeing the end and the situation getting addressed.
Right.
So we think that there's more to do in that regard.
Indeed, there's a lot more to do, Darrell, because of the disturbing, news we are even hearing from the Bono Regional Minister, who's fortunately joining us. The fact that the authorities are confirming to us now that Wenchi and some of the environs now are becoming a subject to illegal mining activities. Let's hear from the Regional Minister who's joining us now, and Darrell will perhaps get your reaction to this because you believe that this is a time for some reforms as well. The Bono Regional Minister, the Honourable Joseph Adar, is joining us now. Thank you so much, sir, for your time here on Top Story. I wanted to start off, first of all, with the fear that this has a deep implication for the country to the extent that possibly the Bui power plant could be threatened as a result of the increased mining, illegal mining activities in the Wenchi and Banda areas. How did you come about this, sir?
I'm the regional minister. Whatever goes on in the region, I hear them. In fact, we had a reset meeting, and that particular issue came up for discussions. And we needed to visit the area to see for ourselves what is going on at that area. So we went to about 5 communities at the Banda enclave and that of Wenchi. And the illegal mining going on there is so serious. So you see, they are doing this on a quiet. So you will sit in Sunyani here and you will not know that there is illegal mining activities going on at that area. So we went there, and the kind of things that we saw is so serious. And I have taken a decision to stop it because they started not too long ago, about 4 years ago, and the distraction that has been done at the area is massive. You see, these Chinese are moving from some part of the country to the Bono region, and they started this on a quiet, so you won't know that Galamsey is going on in the forest and the Tyne River. So the kind of things that they are doing is very serious, and we need to
but
pay attention to it.
Yeah, Honorable Minister, the points that you're being, excuse my language, undiplomatic here and reserving no words in mentioning the nationalities of these individuals. You claim that they are Chinese. Do you have evidence to back that? I guess that will be facing you now.
Yes, I have been there myself, and I saw them there. So immediately they see you, they run into the bush. But they are doing this with our own people over there, because they cannot enter the forest by themselves. And it is our people who send them there. And they bring them from the other part of this country where they have previously done some galamsey, and they have seen that they can do it at the Banda and the Wenchi area. So they are there doing it. And very soon we have some plans and guidelines, and you will see pictures of these people.
I'm looking at the way forward now, because yes, you're saying you've stopped the activities, but how sure are you that these individuals may not come there?
Yes, we have our program, and I'm not prepared to disclose what we are going to do on radio, but very soon we will see some results coming from the area.
Are we totally absolving perhaps the chiefs, the indigenes of these communities? Because you know too well that Chinese may not be able to just move out of their country, coming to Ghana and find locations, suitable ones within Wenchi and Banda without local support. Why are you leaving out, the indigenes and perhaps the traditional authorities there?
You see, I'm not leaving out anybody. Some of the chiefs around that area are involved, because they always carve the land for these people to do galamsey. And we have our own plans that we are going to follow. So I don't want to discuss some of the plans on radio. So because they are very intelligent, those people doing galamsey, they also have their strategies, and we need to counter them. So most of the things that we will do, I will keep it, and then when we get the results, you will know. But I'm not leaving anybody out of this, because some of the chiefs permitted these illegal activities in that area. And we have plans for those chiefs too.
And indeed, we're grateful for your time here on Top Story. Joseph Adai Kwabwa, the Bono Regional Minister, speaking to us, and would not go further to disclose some of the security arrangements in place to check the new invasion of Wenchi and Banda by illegal miners. Dao Bosu of Arocha is still with us. And Dao, this is where you believe, and in fact, it was the first point. And Darrell, this was the first point on your statement where you're calling for the repeal of LI 2464, which permits mining in Ghana's forest reserves. You believe that should be the starting point. The minister wouldn't disclose the strategy to us, but you feel that this is crucial in the fact.
I mean, this has always been very, very crucial, because when government allowed for people to see that you can mine in forest reserve by coming out with such a law, we saw these miners positioning themselves either officially or unofficially through the permits they apply for, or even they going in illegally. So I think we need the government to show that that policy is not going to be entertained, and any mining in forest reserve will be treated with the highest level of compliance and measures. So I believe we need to get this LI 2462 revoked immediately, because it was a key demand even before the elections. And not only that, every other concession that has been issued for forest reserve should go. But Blessed, I think there's something that is happening, and we are not paying attention, or we are deliberately ignoring it. This issue about what is happening in the Bono area, the Wenchi, the Bandang Kwanta, and all those areas, they have been simmering in the past, and we just ignore them, pretend that we didn't see them. The same thing is happening in several areas across the country. If you go to the eastern region now, the number of foreigners from Togo, from Burkina Faso, working in forest reserve, hiding and working in the undergrowth of forest reserve, the same in the western region, and the fact that our compliance and immigration team are quiet, nothing is being done. Is it as if we just wanted to get out of hand before we rise up one day and say, look, we have been inundated by all of these things. These things have been happening in the background. We've been paying attention. And that is why we are saying that going forward, we really need some very bold and decisive actions. And that is why it means that we need to have a sweeping reform for law enforcement officers and commanders in the various hotspots. It should be done. Because we can't continue with this kind of case growth strategies that we've been using for all these years. And the pushing of sympathetic narratives by ministers of state and all of that is also not helping the fight against Galamsey. So I'm happy to hear the Bono regional minister speak boldly about what they want to do and all of that. But I think at the end of the day, it's the result we want to see. So we wish him well. Yeah. We are ready to provide the support as we can. But the right things must be done boldly.
Yeah, I'm just wondering what's motivating this expansionist approach by the illegal miners. I mean, they seem to be moving further and further up north. Well, and of course, maybe it might be informed by, geology, if we could put it that way, that you can find gold in these places. But I'm wondering what the motivation really is to expand to these areas.
Yes, but I think miners, our land is not infinite. We have a certain area of land as a country. For the past years, we've been mining particular areas where there is gold. And the movement, like you have rightly said, is according to the deposits and the reserves of minerals so the miners know where all of these things are, and we know how devastation by the miners has also led to several areas being exploited and being destroyed already. So there is a change of government. There has been also a transition, not only among the political office holders, but also a transition among economic players. And some of the key economic players are the Galamsey or the mining companies. So before it was run by the NPP, they've exhausted a lot of the hotspots. The NDC people have come to power. And while there was transition going on at the top, they also went through a sort of transition. So they know the areas that are already exhausted, and they are also trying to now identify new. And that is why you see the movement even going to the Bono areas, going to all those. And it's happening. And the fact that we are silent and we are still talking, and when we have had the opportunity to really lay down the plan and even prepare for it, for me, beats my mind. And I think that we are just being too, like you said, we are just being too lackadaisical about it. We are being too negligent with what is happening. But this is a very, very serious matter. And that's why we say that even if it means that we have to instruct that the most deterrent measure of burning excavators is used, it needs to be, because nobody will risk going to an area where they know that if I am found out, my excavator will be burnt.
And of course, we'll just wait to see what will happen in the coming days. But grateful for your time. Daryl Bosso is the Deputy National.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much.
He's the Deputy National Coordinator of Arocha Ghana, joining us there. And if you haven't heard it by now, it's been confirmed to us by authorities that Wenchi and Banda is now subject to an invasion by illegal miners. Listening there to the Bono Regional Minister, who has just confirmed to us, Joseph Adai Akwabwa, that even a critical infrastructure such as the Bui power plant faces some threats as well as a result of this. This has been Top Story with Blessed Sogah. We'll see you again. But next is Ghana Connect, and Kwekwa Santi is here with the latest. I hope that you're looking at. Yes.
Oladumochi's friend, Blessed Sogah. So tonight on Ghana Connect, we are looking at 68 years of independence.